right, so let's list all of Maresca's mistakes today. So first of all, starting Trevor Chalobah at right back. Mistake number 1. Tosin, mistake number 2. Playing João Pedro out of position at the 10. Mistake number 3. Playing Delap over João Pedro up top. Mistake number 4. Gittins over Garnacho. Mistake number 5. Tosin, mistake number 6. Not resting Mark Cucurella, mistake number 7. Bringing on Gusto at halftime, mistake number 8. Not playing Achimpong, mistake number 9. Tosin! What's up, guys, and welcome to the Blues and Stripes. So it's a good thing I've kind of lost my voice, because if not, this would probably be the day that I get a noise complaint from my neighbors, because, I mean, I knew going into this match, I knew this was likely to be the game where we slip up, because everybody's in a good feeling right now, right? We're talking about maybe being in a title race, just like it was Ipswich away last season. Everybody's thinking, oh, we go in there, we beat Ipswich. It was not the first game. I think the first game was Everton, where we slipped up and drew. But I'm pretty sure Ipswich away is what started our drop-off last season. And here we are again. A bottom team that's going to get relegated this season. We go to their place and we get absolutely dominated. This is Maresca at his very fucking worst. This is why he is not a fucking top-level coach. And anybody who gets on my channel and tells me that I should not be asking for him to leave because, oh, he won the Club World Cup. Oh, he played well against Barcelona. That's not what it takes to win titles. You can't just play well against the top teams and expect to win titles. You have to beat everybody. And we can't beat the mid to low level teams because they're gonna want it more. They're going to play harder than us. He's going to do stupid shit and lose the game. So yeah, let's talk about Maresca right off the bat. Because I said going into this, the back line might be, Gusto, Chalobah, Badiashile, Hato. But if he's really crazy, he might play Gusto, Tosin, Badiashile, Hato. Little did I know, he was going to go even crazier than that and play Chalobah at right back with Tosin and Badiashile in the middle and Cucurella on the left side. So Cucurella, who's just had 2 games back-to-back, where he's had to play up against Yamal, and then he had to play up against Saka. You're really telling me that you're going to play him for a 3rd game in a week? It just blows my mind that this is the back line he went with. And right off the bat, you could see it was going to be a problem. Tosin and Badiashile couldn't keep up. They were giving the ball away. They were not ready for this match. I'm going to talk about Tosin at length later, but I'm going to go ahead and say it now, talking about Maresca. I don't know what fucking love affair he has with Tosin Adarabioyo, but I swear to God, if he plays again for the rest of this season, I will have Maresca out on each of my thumbnails for the rest of the season, somewhere. If he plays Tosin again after this match, because there's no excuse. There's no reason he should be playing this match. And after the first half he had, there's no reason he should be playing in the second half. But he subs off Badiashile and brings on Gusto. And guess what happens? Tosin gives away a goal. Oh my God, it's almost like I can predict the future. Or anybody with half a brain cell can look at it and say Tosin should not be playing today. And that's the problem, is that Maresca, he grows a brain in the big matches, but then he loses every single brain cell. Nothing exists up there in these matches. In these matches against the lower sides, nothing exists. He takes the brain out, tosses it in the bin, and just says, hey, whatever works, works. But yeah, the back line today was not set up for this match. And the midfield, Santos and Fernandez, kind of all you got right now, unless you're going to play James again, which he's not going to do that. And I'll talk about Santos in a little bit. But then up front, what does he go with? Well, Estevao starts again. 3 games in a row. You're going to start this 18-year-old kid 3 games in a row. And on top of that, he starts Delap up top, João Pedro at the 10. Can we stop playing João Pedro as a 10? He's not a 10. I don't know how many times it has to get proven before Maresca finally goes, maybe he's not a 10. Maybe I should try to use my brain today and realize that this isn't working. It's not worked before. It's not worked today. Let's stop trying this. And what's ironic is he brings Guiu on late, and what does he do? Drop João Pedro back into the 10 again alongside Palmer. Play with 2 10s. You can't make this shit up. João Pedro as a 10 didn't work for the entire first half, but sure, let's do it again in the second half. Why not? And Gittins on the left side, I just personally thought Garnacho was in better form. I thought Garnacho looked more dangerous today as well. Gittins did have the assist for the goal, so bravo to that, but outside of that, he didn't really create much today. He's very limited on that left side because all he really has to his game is just kick it and run. And in a game against a lower side, they're not going to give you that space to run into. But yeah, Maresca just had no sense going into this match. And it's not the first time. Like I said, last season, it was Ipswich. Ipswich were a team everybody was beating. We didn't beat them in either match. We lost to them at their place, which again, set up our bad run in December. And then we couldn't beat him at home because he can't figure these games out. Like, I know they talk about sometimes whenever you're playing lower opposition, you drop down to their level. I've never seen a manager drop down to that level. but that's what he does. It's like he becomes a manager for relegation side whenever we play relegation candidates. I can't explain it. I know people will point out Burnley and Wolves, but I mean, to be honest, it's not like we way outplayed them. Burnley outplayed us in the first half, just didn't put away their chances. Leeds did today. That's the difference. And that's why whenever we don't play well in those matches and people go, oh, it's just the result. We just got to worry about the result. This is why you don't worry about the result. Because in that match, Burnley didn't take advantage of the several chances we gave them in the first half. Leeds did. And so we go into second half 2-0 down, because the same way we played against Burnley is the same way we played today. That's why I get so frustrated anytime somebody's just like, oh, just worry about the result. We won today. Stop being so critical. How much more proof do you need? But like I said, coming into this was going to be the time period to see, are we in the title race? Today tells me we're not. We're still the same as last season. Maresca has not improved at all. We're still going to drop points to teams like Leeds. We're going to drop points to Everton. We're going to drop points to Bournemouth. We're going to drop points to Newcastle. These are the teams we're not going to be able to beat. And that's going to take us out of the title race. We're going to once again be lucky to make Champions League. And that all comes down to having a manager who's not experienced enough to know how to handle this level and know how to rotate, know how to deal with all these games thick and fast. He can't do it. But getting into individuals, Sanchez today, I thought looked a lot poorer. I think a lot of that was just down to we were a lot more harried at the back today. We were playing really slow. He was put under a lot more pressure because of the slow passing. So I think that brought out some of his bonehead moments again. He does seem like a keeper that if you put him under pressure, if you cause him to feel, I guess, the nervousness, he's more likely to play a bad pass, and we saw that a few times today. But I think that comes down to you got Tosin, you got Maresca. Both of them play such slow passes that it gives Leeds players time to go at him and put him under pressure. So that comes down to who are you playing in center defense? Two players who are not capable of doing it. And I know I said Maresca should get a chance, but you put him alongside Tosin, that's just a recipe for disaster. Chalobah had a rough first half because he's not a right back. Thought it looked a little bit better in the second half, but yeah, I don't understand that decision. You've got a young player who's been playing well this season, who is a right back, but also has played center back. So he's the perfect candidate to play at right back and then slide over whenever Cucurella inverts and become part of the back three. He's perfect for that. And yet, Maresca goes, nah, now let's play our worst center back at the moment and push one of our center backs out to right back where he's not comfortable, because that'll work. So I feel bad for Chalobah because, again, I thought he really struggled in that first half, but it's not really his fault. But let's get on to Tosin, because I think he deserves the Disasi treatment. He needs to be gone. And it's ironic because we didn't even pay money for him. I feel like we're losing money, though. I don't know why Maresca continues to play him. I don't know what he sees in him. I don't know why he's not choosing Acheampong. It blows my mind. Acheampong had, one bad match? Tosin's played poorly in every match he's played. So I don't understand it. I truly don't. But yeah, so much about his game today was absolutely pathetic. His passing was awful. His touch on the ball is terrible. Defensively, he's a joke. He's letting players run in behind him all the time. He's completely unaware of what's around him. I mean, he turned off so many times. There was one moment in the second half, I almost threw something at the TV because somebody played it in behind. I don't remember who, but somebody played it in behind, and Tosin's the closest player to it. All he's got to do is go get it. And he kind of starts to go for it, but then sees Sanchez start to come. And so he goes, okay, well, he's got it, and then slows up. I'm thinking, you're the closest player. You should be going to get it and telling Sanchez to, no, go back. And what it turns into is Sanchez sees him start to go for it, slowly but not really. And so he kind of slows himself up because he's thinking, all right, are you going for it? You're not doing anything. And eventually a Leeds player, don't remember who it is, decides, all right, well, I'm going to go for it. And now it's a foot race between him and Sanchez. And Sanchez has to make a quick clearance, goes right to another Leeds player, who then has an open net, thankfully mishits it right to Chalobah. But that all comes from Tosin. Make a damn decision. Do something. He's just walking around like he doesn't give a shit. Again, I don't want to see him again for the rest of this season. He has done nothing to earn this spot. And the fact that he's taking up a space over Acheampong blows my mind. Like I said, if he plays again, I'm going to be Maresca out. I don't care. I don't care if he comes on and plays well in one match. He hasn't earned it. He's done nothing to earn this position. He's in there because Maresca, for some reason, loves him. Don't know why. He's not showing anything on the pitch to show me why. Stop playing him. Maresca on the left side looked uncomfortable today. Wasn't ready for the high press. And this is something he's had issue with in the past. He's just too slow to play under a high press. And what's ironic about that is I expected Leeds to be a lot more packed in and then looking to hit us on the counter. They stepped out. And that's typically what we want to see. But today, because of the fact that we had three defenders back there, all of which are uncomfortable passing, it turned into an issue because now we can't keep possession because all three of our defenders are poor when it comes to passing. But yeah, Badiashile is definitely very guilty of that. He's not good under pressure. So if we know a team's going to step out and press us high, probably not a game for him. And then Cucurella on the left side, I thought he tried his best, but he definitely didn't look at the same level that we've seen from him. And again, it's probably because he just had 2 difficult games back to back against 2 really top players. And now he has to go again for another 90 minutes away at Leeds. This was not a game to play him again. This was a game to give Hato some minutes and give Cucurella a break. And instead, Cucurella now had to bust it for a whole 90 minutes, and he's probably going to be needed again on the weekend. But into the midfield, Fernandez, I thought, was working hard. He just doesn't have that physical capability of holding down a midfield. And that job was supposed to be Santos's today, but unfortunately, instead of Burnley Santos, we got Brighton Santos. So absolutely nothing from him today. And it's really disappointing because the Caicedo red card means we're going to be without him for a few matches. This was Santos's chance to show what he could do. And instead of putting in a great solid performance, we saw him absolutely get rolled over in the midfield. There was nothing from him today. And for the second goal, he did nothing. He stepped out and he was just a cone as the guy passed it right past him. I don't know what he was doing today, but he was not there to play. He's going probably about 50%. He was terrible. And the fact that Asugo is out injured again means it's probably going to be on James to step up and play in these next few matches until Caicedo comes back. And getting up into the front four is Estevao. Like I said, he started the past 2 matches, so probably needed to get a bit of a break here. I think this was a great game to have Neto be out there and then bring Estevao on later so that he's coming up against a defender that's been run ragged by Neto. That's what he's been doing with Estevao up until now. But instead he decides, no, let's start Estevao again. And so he had a rough game. The left back was absolutely on him, similar to what we've seen Cucurella do, was just constantly nipping at his heels. And you could see that youth and inexperience start to show itself in this match. And it's why I do think Maresca has been good about managing his minutes and bringing him in to allow him to flow a little bit better. And yet today just decided, now let's just throw him to the Wolves. On top of that, throw him to the Wolves with no real help because he's got a center back behind him. He didn't even have a right back that's bombing past him like Gusto that could give him another option. So he's basically isolated 1v1 over there with the defender, and he had no help. So it's just another disaster class from Maresca in that sense because you've just taken our 18-year-old wonder kid and basically said, hey, good luck, gave him no help at all. And you could tell he was struggling. He even picked up a yellow because he got frustrated and kicked the guy. Which I will say it's funny because I talked about in the preview for this match how the narrative of the media is talking about how undisciplined we are and how we've got so many players that are out of control. As soon as that kick happened, both commentators, oh, he could be looking at a red. What? I'm sorry. I've seen players kick other players to stop them breaking out. I've seen that happen probably 100 times in the past few seasons alone. It happens every year. Players do that sometimes. They get frustrated. They'll swing out, take out the guy's legs. It's always a yellow. It's always been a yellow card. Like, I've never seen that given as anything but a yellow. And suddenly, because we are so undisciplined, they started listing all the guys that have gotten red cards. And I'm just thinking, yep, here's the narrative. Here's the narrative. We just get red cards every game, guys. Oh, they're so undisciplined. You guys are idiots. João Pedro at the 10. Another game where he's underutilized because he's not in his right position. Now, granted, in the second half when he did move up there, I did feel like he wasn't really giving us much. But to be fair, at that point, it's 2-1, and Leeds have kind of packed it in a little bit, and it's a lot tougher for him to get into those tight spaces because they're now crowding it even more than they would have been if it were still, say, 0-0 or at the beginning of the match. So I don't get it. I don't understand why Maresca keeps trying this thing that's not working. And no matter how many times it doesn't work, tries it again. And then Gittins on the left side, like I said, great cross for the assist for the goal. But outside of that, didn't give us hardly anything. Giving the ball away, constantly bad crosses, just nothing really from him. So it's another game that shows Garnacho right now is ahead of him and needs to be starting more. And then Delap up top, kind of similar to his appearance against Arsenal. I felt like he didn't really give us much up there, especially in the second half when we did start to get a bit of momentum. He did start to get into some good spaces. And instead of looking for a pass or looking to keep it moving, he tries these wild shots. He's off balance, running away from the goal. I'm just thinking that doesn't help us. I do think we needed to shoot more as a team because it felt like there were several moments throughout the second half where we're in good spaces, but nobody's willing to try a shot. We're trying to find that perfect shot, trying too much, overplaying. But you don't want somebody to shoot that is off balance, running away from goal, terrible angle as well, because all it does is just waste our chance and gives them the ball, gives them a chance as well to waste another 2 minutes on a goal kick. But at the moment, I don't understand why Delap is starting up there ahead of Pedro. I don't think we've seen enough from him to justify that. But looking at the subs, Gusto, I mean, he was going to provide a little bit more energy back there, but defensively, he's suspect, and that was almost exposed right away because the cross comes in and the guy just runs right past him. No attempt to go with him, no attempt to track him, just lets him run in behind him and has a point-blank shot that Sanchez does well to save. But that's the danger of having Gusto. So it's, once again, funny to me. Why are we not bringing on Achimpong, who is a better defender? But yeah, that would be making too much sense, so not for Maresca. And then Neto came on for Estevao and obviously got himself the goal, but really needed more from him today, just overall. Felt like his crosses weren't that great, gave the ball away too cheaply sometimes. Palmer came in for his first appearance in a while and looked a little rusty, obviously, but I do wonder what would have happened if he had maybe started this match when it was a little bit more open and not so packed in there, and he had more space to operate. Wonder what would have happened then, but I guess we'll never know because Maresca said, no, we're going to play somebody out of position at the 10, not our number 10. We're not going to do that. Garnacho also came on at that time and, like I said, looked more dangerous than Gittins. Created some really good chances, including Palmer's best chance. And like I've said before, I'm not somebody that likes Garnacho, but he's starting to show some of his worth, so hopefully we can see more of that in the future and from the start instead of into the second half. And then Guiu comes on, and I'll say I'm glad that Maresca tried something different, but it just felt like there was nothing really there. You're taking off a midfielder and putting on a striker, which is dropping Pedro back into the 10, and that doesn't help him. And honestly, while I think Guiu's a good striker to have to put pressure on the back line, I don't think he's really going to help you whenever the defense is packed it in because they're holding on to a 2-goal lead. You're not going to get much from him there. So I just don't think it was the right sub today. But like I said, this is the type of match that we struggled with last season, and it shows we're still there. Maresca has not learned his lesson. Maresca's still doing the same stupid shit. And this is why we're not going to be title contenders with a coach like Maresca, because he can't figure it out. I don't know why, because he seems to figure out the big games really well, but he just struggles. He struggles to pick the team. He puts on players that are costing him the game. Again, Tosin's the one that lost us the match against Sunderland. Today, he's the one that puts the third goal in, basically, to put the game to bed and take away our chances of getting anything out of this match. So I don't understand why Maresca continues to choose some players who are not getting the job done, why he rotates as much as he does, so much so that it causes so much disconnection with these players, and also plays players out of positions unnecessarily so. You don't need to play João Pedro at the 10 because you've got other players that can. You don't need to play Trevor Chalobah at the right back because you've got other players that can. I just don't understand. But this is why, if anybody asks, why don't you guys really fully trust Maresca? These are the matches that show why. These are the matches, if you break it down, if you understand the problems with what he's doing as a manager, the tactics, the subs, the lineup, so much about this is a problem. And he doesn't learn from it. It's the same thing every match. We'll see the same thing whenever we face Everton, whenever we face Newcastle. And so this has gone from a run of 8 games in December where I'm looking at it thinking, we need to be winning all of these. The St. James's Park match is the one where I'm looking at going, we can afford to drop points there because that's a tough match. But the rest of them are winnable games, which means we should be winning if we truly want to be in the title race. We don't even make it past the first hurdle. We trip up, we lose to Leeds, and our title race hopes are done. And now we're about to go on another run of form in December that's going to absolutely blow our chances out of the water. And as long as Maresca can't figure that out, I don't trust him as a manager. So some people may call me stupid for that. You may not like my opinion. That's my opinion. I think as a manager, if you can't manage through this set of games, if you can't figure out how to beat these teams, then how can you consider yourself a manager at a top club? But with all that being said, those are my thoughts on this match today. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on the match today? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Chelsea previews, reviews, and talks. And until next time, hope you guys have a great day. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace out.